Hello everyone, Aningseo.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao.
So, today starting with this episode of our cultural exchange in the opening. So, in this world of style and sophistication, where every thread tells a story and every garment is a canvas of cultural expression, welcome to the cultural exchange exclusive Resendus with captivating realm of fashion and clothing. As we step onto the glittering runway of cultural exploration, our sense are awakened by the symphony of colors, textures, and narratives woven into fabric of diverse tradition and contemporary trends. Fashion is more than just clothing. It's just a language of identity, heritage, and creativity. It speaks volumes about who we are, where we come from, and the journeys we embark upon. From the majestic elegance of traditional attire to the avant-garde designs pushing the boundaries from innovation. The world of fashion is a vibrant tapestry that celebrates diversity, honors craftsmanship, and fosters cultural connections. As we embark on the stylish odyssey, let's pause to appreciate the artistry and ingenuity that go into creating each garment, whether it's the intricate handiwork of artisans preserving old age techniques or cutting edge technologies shaping the future of fashion. Every stitch is a testament to the human creativity, resilience, and enduring allure of self expressions. Our, our fashion voyage takes us beyond geographical borders, transcending language barriers to communicate the universal language of beauty, elegance, and individuality. Through the lens of fashion, we will glimpse into the soul of cultures, unraveling the stories of resilience, revival, and entrepreneur that echo through generations. So, starting with this today's episode, I would like to invite our delightful members, the President of Cultural Exchange, Mr. Priyan Banerjee, and the Vice President of Cultural Exchange, Mr. Utkarsh Mhatre. So, starting with our President, hi, Mr. President.
Hello.
Yeah. So today we will be speaking about fashion, clothing, and all. So what's your
Yes.
opinion? Like why fashion is so important to talk about in a cultural way?
So that's a nice question. And I think fashion is a very important component of our day to day life. For example, the clothes that we wear, the clothes have a meaning why we wear them. It's not just to hide our inner selves, but also to reflect our compassion and our cultural heritage through the clothes. Fashion reflects our cultural heritage by incorporating elements of traditional clothing, craftsmanship, symbolism, and aesthetics that have been passed down through generations. It serves as a visual experience of our cultural identity, values, customs, showcasing the unique heritage of particular community or society. Now, every story has a meaning behind it. Just like that, the fashion identity roots to shaping our senses of belonging and pride. In this way, fashion serves as a living testament to our cultural heritage, evolving and adapting over the time while remaining deeply rooted in our collective identity. So that's what the most important thing about fashion.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Priyan. So my the same question will be about fashion with Utkarsh Mhatre. So Utkarsh, what are your
Hmm.
views about fashion that why it is so important?
My personal take on fashion is deeply rooted in the idea of self expression and authenticity. Fashion for me is not just about following trends or wearing the latest style. It's a way to communicate who I am to the world without saying a word. Growing up, I have discovered that clothing can be a powerful form of identity. It's creative outlet where I can express my personality, mood, and cultural influences, whether I'm rocking a casual streetwear or dressing up in a traditional attire. Each outfit tells a story about my journey and values. I believe that fashion should be inclusive and empowering. It's about embracing individuality and celebrating diversity. I am inspired by the designers who push boundaries and challenge conventional norms, creating fashion that resonates with people from all the walks of life. Fashion is also about comfort and confidence. When I feel good in what I am wearing, it boosts my mood and enhances my self esteem. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling comfortable in my own skin. Ultimately, fashion is a form of art that one allows me to experiment, evolve, and express myself authentically. It's a journey of self discovery and self acceptance. And I'm
Thank you.
grateful to be part of industry that encourage creativity and individuality. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Utkarsh. So coming towards the next point, as we are all about talking about cultures of all around the world, so connecting the fashion and culture, they are very intricately connected. Each influencing and shape, it is influencing and shaping the other in a continuous dance of creativity, expression, and identity. This connection runs deep, threading through history, traditions, societal norms, and individual narratives, creating a rich tapestry of diversity and meaning. At its core, fashion is a reflection of the culture. It mirrors the values, beliefs, aesthetics, and aspiration of a society, serving a visual language that communicates across borders and generations. Traditional garments, for an instance, carry within them the stories of communities, their histories, rituals, symbolic significance. From the intricate patterns of Native American beadwork to the regal elegance of Chinese kyonghams, these garments are not just clothing but living embodiments of cultural heritage. So, Mr. Priyank, what's your view? Like how our cultures and the fashion are connected and how it resembles each other?
For example, this question can be answered in a very simple way. That is, how is fashion important to us by giving several reasons. Now, these several reasons would be tying up the different cultures and how it's reflected onto different cultures as per their segments of understanding. For example, fashion carries a component of self expression. Fashion allows us to express our individuality, personality, and creativity. So are the different communities around the world which have their own different means of expressing their individuality, personality, and creativity. So the clothes we choose to wear can communicate our tastes, interests, and values to the world, serving as a form of self-expression and identity. The second most important component would be confidence and self esteem. Wearing clothing that makes us feel good can boost our confidence and self esteem. For example, in the old days when the Japanese used to prefer wearing kimono more, it used to have a confidence within the women who were from the higher aristocratic society, and they used to carry themselves in such a way which is to develop their self image, and also it was comfortable, empowered with the positive impact of the designs which they used to have on themselves. Now, coming to the third important component, that is cultural and social identity. Fashion is deeply intertwined with culture and society, reflecting historical influences, cultural traditions, and social norms. For example, in the past days, most of the clothing used to be handmade, isn't it? But these days, the clothing is moreover all about the professionalisms of the machine works or the professionalisms which carry some abstract designs, in the sense that designs don't carry that much amount of that essence or that value which once used to be carried by the handicraft of the people all around. For example, Shantiniketan in West Bengal is one of the most innovative places where the culture of artistry and tapestry around the fashion designs used to be one of the most significant things that people used to like from all around the world. Similarly, fashion also has one other most important component called economic impact. The fashion industry is significant driver of economic growth and employment globally. So thereby different cultures have their own different significance over fashion, and that can be symbolized by these of the reasons which I've given so far.
Well, thank you so much, Priyank. That was really an informative thing. So, coming to the Kush, what are your views about how fashion and culture are very connected with each other?
Uh, yeah. Fashion is a fascinating mirror reflecting our cultural identity and heritage. When we look at clothing, we are not just seeing at fabrics and designs. We are witnessing centuries of tradition and storytelling. Take traditional clothing like kimono in Japan or the hanbok in Korea. These garments are not just outfit; they embody the essence of Japanese and Korean culture, respectively. The integrated patterns, colors, and style tell us about the social norms, religion, and religional influences, and historical events. Even in modern fashion, designers draw inspiration from their culture backgrounds, whether it's showcasing African prints on international runways or infusing Western silhouettes with Indian embroidery. Fashion becomes a canvas for celebrating diversity and heritage. As someone with the Indian roots, I have always been mesmerized by the rich textiles and craftsmanship of the traditional Indian clothing like saris and sherwanis. Those are one of my favorite clothings. Each garment is like a piece of art passed down through generations, carrying its stories of celebrations, rituals, and family ties. Fashion also means of connection and pride. When individuals wear clothing that represent their cultural heritage, it's not just about aesthetics. It's a way of affirming identity and honoring ancestral traditions. In a world that's increasingly interconnected, fashion allow us to preserve and share our culture narratives with a global audience. Ultimately, fashion is a powerful tool for culture expression and unity. It bridges gaps, fosters understanding, and reminds us of the beauty and diversity of our shared experiences.
Well, thank you,
Hmm.
Utkarsh. As we are talking about culture and fashion, well, as fashion is connected to culture, it should be connected to our project, cultural exchange, right, Priya?
Yes, definitely.
So, how it is connected?
Yes, so with our project, we'd be connecting the whole world globally. Now, cultural exchange is such a platform where different cultures are mesmerizing themselves into one segment. So, how is it connected? That's the main question. It's quite simple. Our project is focusing on communicating and connecting people around the world. So, the different readers and the waivers from around the world can get connected into one single unity bond.
Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much. So, as Utkarsh mentioned that his favorite clothing is sherwanis,
Huh.
what are your favorite fashions or clothing?
Uh, that's a nice question. Being an Indian root, my origins are also from West Bengal. So I prefer Punjabis, kurtas, and pajamas, which are quite famous in our native. And it's like a broad textile or an artistry which is made over the kurtas. Even kurtas are famous all around the North India and even in the East. So it consists of different designs and shades of designs which are drawn and represented over the kurtas, and it are made using silk threads. And even sometimes in the traditional clothing they had some different kinds of threads which they used to use over the kurtas. They can be of different colors. They can be shining gold, peach brown, or they can be of diamond crystal colors, including gems as well into them, which are the very traditional ones. And they used to be generally worn for any special occasion, but also they used to be worn at particular time, the ordinary ones in the regular day to day life. That's one of the clothings which I like the most. Aloof from that, the another clothing segment which I like is Japanese clothing. For example, the women wearing kimono. The kimono is perhaps the most iconic traditional garment. Its long rectangular robe with wide sleeves and a wrap around design secured with an obi sash is really awesome. Its designs are worn for different occasions in formal ceremonies, festivals, or casual outings. Then the second comes is yukata. It's similar style to kimono, but it's a lightweight and an informal version. And continued with that, we have something called jinbei and hakama. Hakama are wide leg trousers, which are also considered as pajamas in our country, and are divided skirts traditionally worn over a kimono by men in during the formal occasions such as martial arts ceremonies or weddings. They are characterized by their pleated construction and a tight waistband. So these are some of the cultural traits or the formal wears which I prefer and I like the most under the fashion technology.
That was a really good taste, Priyank. So, coming to the next aspect of the fashion, that is its real religious connection. Well, the fashion shares a significant connection with religious and spiritual expressions, adding the another layer of depth and diversity to their intersection. Religion has long been a source of inspiration for fashion, influencing styles, symbolism, and aesthetics in various cultures around the world. Right. So,
Absolutely.
President, what are the things that religions have those influences in the clothing of peoples, and how the people follow their religion from through their fashion or clothing?
Absolutely. There's a very deep connection between religion and fashion technology. So let's take some three simple points to understand this thing. The connection between fashion and religion is multifaceted, with clothing often serving as a symbolic expression of religious beliefs is a key to our identity. First thing is modesty and dress code. Many religions have specific guidelines or dress codes governing modesty and attire. For example, in Islam, both men and women are encouraged to dress modestly, with women often wearing hijab or other forms of head coverings. And in Judaism, Orthodox Jewish women may adhere to modesty standards by wearing long skirts and sleeves. In our ceremonial or ritual garments, we generally have a particular segment of understanding, that is, in our religious occasions or in such spiritual works, we elaborate saris or dhotis are worn during religious ceremonies and festivals, which show purity, sanctity, and peace. The cultural identity, adaptation, and interpretation is that while religious dress codes may remain rooted in tradition, they can also evolve and adapt to changing cultural contexts and interpretations. For example, in some of the various majority countries where Buddhism is practiced a lot or where Hinduism is practiced a lot, they prefer that the religious identity and faith can be maintained while people are wearing clean clothes and clothes which are having a proper fashion design on them and not the trends which keep on influencing day by day. So the fashion technology, when connected with religion, also has a meaning to be consistent and to be persistent over a particular design or work through. The most important thing is, while we're connecting these 2 points, the identity and belonging is one of the most important parts for individuals. Religious clothing serves as a visible expression of their faith, providing a sense of identity belonging within the community. Wearing religious attire can be a way to publicly affirm one's beliefs and connects with like-minded individuals who share similar values and practices. Thereby, different people get connected with each other through the similar kind of identity or fashion design over their religious clothes, which also shows a positive impact over cultural exchange.
Well, that was really an informative thing. So, Utkarsh, what are your views into this religious connection of fashion?
Yeah. So religious connections and fashion are evident through symbolic motifs, traditional attire, and modest dressing practices. Across cultures and faith, clothing serves as a visual expression of religious identity, values, and spiritual beliefs. For many religions, specific garments hold profound significance and sacred meaning. For example, the hijab in Islam represents modesty and devotion, as Priyan said, while the sari in Hinduism symbolizes grace and tradition. Religious attire often reflects cultural norms and rituals, fostering a sense of community and belonging. In contemporary fashion, religious influences are reinterpreted through modern designs and aesthetics. Designers incorporate symbolic motifs and traditional elements through their collections, celebrating cultural heritage while embracing diversity. However, religious connections in fashion can also be controversial, raising questions about cultural appropriation and respectful representation. It's important for fashion industry stakeholders to approach religious symbols and attire with sensitivity and cultural awareness. Ultimately, religious connections in fashion highlight the more profound intersection of faith, culture, and style. They remind us of the diverse way in which individuals express their spirituality and identity through clothing, fostering dialogue and understanding across communities.
Well, thank you, Utkarsh. So, coming to the next aspect that we should talk about, that is Western and Eastern fashion and their differences. So, coming to this point, Western fashion is all known for its avant-garde experimentation and modernity that finds inspiration in Eastern motifs, fabrics, and techniques. Elements such as kimono sleeves, mandolin collars, ikat prints, and intricate embroidery are seamlessly integrated into Western design, creating a fusion of East meets West aesthetics that captivates the audience worldwide. Conversely, Eastern fashion embraces Western influences, incorporating contemporary silhouettes, minimalistic designs, and urban streetwear trends. This cross-pollination of styles leading innovative expressions that transcends cultures, boundaries, and appeals to a diverse global market. Collaboration between Western and Eastern designers further promote cultural exchange and creative synergy, fostering into an inclusive and interconnected fashion landscape. So, President, what are your views about Eastern and Western culture, and should they be interconnected or not? And what are their differences? And what are their positives and negatives?
Yes, so I would straight away jump on to the point. First, I would like to take over the differences between Western and Eastern fashion through different points or criterias. The difference between Western and Eastern fashion countries lies in various factors, including their historical influences, cultural norms, aesthetics, or societal values. Here's the breakdown. First, historical influence. Western fashion has been shaped by centuries of influence from Europe, particularly countries like France, Italy, and United Kingdoms. Historical periods such as Renaissance, Baroque, and Victorian eras have left lasting impressions on Western fashion. On the other hand, Eastern fashion draws inspiration from diverse sources, including ancient traditions, religious beliefs, religious customs. Countries in East Asia, such as Japan, China, South Korea, and India, have rich cultural histories that influence the fashion sensibilities. Number two, cultural norms and values. Western fashion tends to prioritize individualization, self expression, and innovation. There's a strong emphasis on personal style and trend setting, with fashion often serving as a form of self identity and creativity. Whereas Eastern fashion often reflects communal values, modesty, and respect for tradition. Clothing choices may be influenced by societal expectations, family norms, and cultural rituals, with an emphasis on harmony and conformity. So, I would like to cover up several things in trending to the Western and Eastern fashion differences, that are the silhouettes and fabrics. Western fashion tends to favor form fitting silhouettes and a mix of fabrics such as denim, leather, and synthetic materials. Trends may vary seasonally with an emphasis on functionality and versatility. Eastern fashion, whereas often treasures or features loose, flowing silhouettes and lightweight fabrics like silk, cotton, and linen. Traditional garments such as kimono, sari, or hanbok prioritize comfort and ease of movement with an emphasis on natural fibers and craftsmanship. Now, what are the trends in the industry? In Eastern fashion countries, there's a growing influence on local designers, brands gaining international recognition. Cities like Tokyo, Seoul, Shanghai, and Mumbai are emerging as fashion hubs, showcasing unique styles and innovative approaches to design. The Western fashion industries is dominated by major fashion capitals such as Paris, Milan, London, and New York, where fashion weeks and designer labels set global trends and standards. So there might be a very crucial question when I come over to this criteria, that what are the positive and negative differences,
Right.
isn't it? So, positive differences in Western and Eastern cultures include diversity and innovation. Western fashion is quite diverse, pushing boundaries, experimenting with new styles, material, and techniques, whereas Eastern fashion is known for its broad craftsmanship with the most syntheticate and passed down around the traditions of cultures, and often places strong emphasis on craftsmanship, tradition, and heritage. The Eastern culture's detailing and quality of the garments and preserving their cultural heritage with artisanal skills is one of the most unique essence of our culture, which symbolizes several things in significance. Whereas, what's the negative difference? Fast fashion and unstable sustainability is the one baddest thing in Western culture. The Western fashion industry is often criticized for its reliance on fast fashion, which prioritizes on cheap disposable clothing produced at the expense of environmental stability and ethical labor practices. This rapid turnover contributes to environmental degradation and exploitation of workers in developing countries. For example, Western fashion also has a deep down impact on religion or culture. That is, Western fashion, moreover, is more open and not suitable for the society to accept such disclosure of their fashion. Whereas Eastern fashion not only pressurizes on commodity, comfort, but also pressurizes on long wears or which are moreover covering our whole of the body, which signifies the religious aspects in our society. But what's the negative difference then in Eastern culture? Eastern fashion has a pressure for conformity. In Eastern cultures, there may be a pressure to conform to traditional clothing norms and societal expectations, limiting individuals' expression and creativity in fashion choices, which is very common thing. That is, while you're commercializing a particular thing, it's different, and when you're at your home, you're trying to wear something out of the blue, is different. For example, if you're following a particular trend or a fashion related to a particular religion, they would want to put in some pretext or some formats which are more symbolizing their own culture than trying to dynamically approach or create an artistic style or an artisan work over that which symbolizes some other culture. So that's one negative point about Eastern culture. But whether positive or negatives, we all know that Western and Eastern cultures both have their positives and negatives, and with which we can loop and stay interconnected. But once again, one important point is that we cannot completely connect Western and Eastern cultural fashion differences, because fashion is such an element which not only just expresses the self expression of an individual or the thoughts which we might bear, but it also has a religious impact. So we mustn't forget what our ancestors have given to us, and we should stick to our culture other than just sticking to the Western culture, which is quite commonly happening in today's world, especially in the Eastern countries. So that's what I've got to say about this thing.
Well, as you said that Eastern culture is all influenced with its religious aspect or religious influence it have, and
Yes.
Western culture is well influenced with today's fashion designers,
Hmm.
influencers, celebrities, and all that. So, do you think that Western culture, which is influenced with these all celebrities and all the things, is it a good thing to follow or good thing to be influenced in today's world?
I think in today's world, there's a lot of commotion, or there's a lot of what we can say, fashion following or trending by the fans, that they follow whatever the celebrities are wearing, or maybe they are following more of Western culture. For example, I'm staying in India, so I can talk about my country much more better than any other. So I would say in India, the people who are following this kind of culture of wearing the Western clothing is absolutely inappropriate. There should be a balance in both of the cultures. For example, when you're visiting your company, you're wearing a formal wear such as blazers or the suits, which we call. It's a very appropriate thing. But on the other segment, on the other hand, we aren't thinking about this prospect, that even if you're wearing such clothing in your office won't disallow you to wear something which is traditional. For example, our corporate wears back around 100 years back were from different states, used to represent the different highlights. That's being colorful and also being lively in one manner. So I think that it's inappropriate to completely follow the trends given by celebrities or the Western culture's impact on the Eastern parts.
Right, right. So, right. So, Utkarsh, what are your views on that thing, right? Today there is on another aspect that we can differentiate upon. Like today's youth is more influenced with the cultural fashion that is influenced by these celebrities, influencers, digital creators, social media influencers, and all these peoples. Should it go like that or not? What are your views on that?
Uh, Basically, passion is like any form of expression. It is subjective or personal. While trends come in and go, it's important to approach fashion with mindfulness and authenticity. Like here is a like perspective on what fashion shouldn't be and what should we shouldn't follow blindly.
Right,
Fashion
right.
shouldn't be about conformity or exclusion. Fashion trends for the sake of following trends for the sake of fitting in can undermine individuality. and creativity. Instead, fashion should be a celebration of diversity and self expression, embracing unique styles and perspectives. We shouldn't follow fashion that perpetuates harmful stereotypes or promotes unethical practices. This includes trends that prioritize aesthetics over sustainability or compromise ethical standards in production. Instead, we should follow fashion that aligns with our values and promotes positive change. This may involve supporting brands that prioritize inclusivity, transparency, and environmental responsibility. Ultimately, fashion should be a reflection of personal values and beliefs. By making conscious choices and embracing individuality, we can redefine fashion as a force of empowerment and positive impact. The preference for traditional or modern fashion is a matter of personal choice and cultural identity. Both modern styles have unique merits and contribute to the diversity of fashion. Yeah.
Well, that was really a point of concern, Utkarsh. So, as you said, that fashion is not about following, it should be about representing ourselves. We should not follow others fashion, we should represent our fashion, that what our body says, our mind says, that what we should represent to our others, that our fashion should say, right? So but today's youth or today's people are what doing, that they are following all the fashion that is designed by fashion designer, like their representation is designed by fashion designers, what they should represent is designed by fashion designers or celebrities and all those peoples. So president, what are your views that how the fashion has influenced the commoner's mentality, or how they are blindly following their image into
Uh,
this river of celebration celebrities and fashion designers?
Actually, there are a wide range of factors that have led to today's condition, and that majorly resounds around the trends which have been started recently. For example, every decade had a particular trend to follow or influences to follow. Fashion trends today are influenced by a wide range of factors, including pop culture, street style, social media, and global events. The major factor which influences today's fashion is social media. In social media, there are different kinds of people, varieties of people, and generally companies who are dealing with such brands, or who are dealing with such people. That is, for example, a specific platform, let's say Twitter is having a lots of people in their social media platform, but they do not try to filter out such people or such content which is harmful to the fashion technology. But still, such contents get extreme popularity because in today's world the taste is gone, the right taste of understanding fashion accurately has gone. As I said, pop culture and street culture, these styles may have been influenced by specific historical periods or cultural movements, but modern fashion is characterized by its rapid pace of change and constant evolution. Moreover, the degradation of the quality or standards is one of the more important things. These days, brands or companies who are producing the materials, they think that we want maximum profits with lesser expenditure. That's a
Right.
business model. So because of that model, they are degrading the fashion standards. They say the designers to make something which is very jazzy or which is very out of the blue or common, because for expending on the materials or on the labor of such a fashion, it would hardly take a penny, but the regain by influencing the individuals to buy such things, or to make
Right.
them feel to buy such things, will make them more profits. So it's just profit oriented mentality. We can't be in such a mentality, and that's the reason our cultural exchange platform would also be working on finding out such individuals who are trying to create a problem into the diversity of our society by increasing such wrong fashion technologies. Yes, that's what I think about it.
Well, Utkarsh, what is your choice? Like religious clothing, historical clothing, or today's future clothing?
Okay. So basically, I prefer that the preference, I prefer like preferring traditional fashion can be a way of honor to cultural heritage, preserve craftsmanship, and celebrate ancestral traditions. Traditional garments are often carry deep symbolism and historical significance. serving as a connection to the past. In other hand, embracing modern fashion allows for innovation, creativity, and adaptation of contemporary lifestyles. Modern lifestyles may incorporate new materials, technologies, and design aesthetics, reflecting evolving societal values and preferences. Ultimately, the choice between traditional and modern fashion is not mutually exclusive. Many individuals appreciate a blend of both, embracing hybrid styles that bring cultural tradition with contemporary influences. In conclusion, whether uh, one prefers traditional or modern fashion depends on personal preference, cultural background, and individual expression. By celebrating diversity and embracing creativity, we can enrich the fashion landscape and foster the cross-cultural appreciation. About the question you asked, I personally prefer wearing traditional dresses or the like clothes which are kind of comfortable and like the like as Priyan said, like most of the like traditional wears turn out to be more comfortable as they are tailored to the region or the where the culture is oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Utkarsh. So there is another point differentiating history of clothing and the future of clothing, that is our health, the basic human influencing aspect, that is we are all depend upon our health. So Priyant, what are your
Yes.
views about how health is going to be influenced, or how fashion is influencing our health, or how our health is changing according to the fashion, and what are health benefits or health problems that we are facing today or in history, I might say, that with the our clothing.
Nice question. So I think that the answer is quite simple. Taking back everyone to several decades before, the question was that what kind of material we used to use in our fashion
Right.
clothes or designs. The material used to be moreover of cotton and of delicate silk, which used to be a heat resistant material. Let's just take the example of this season. What season is in India right now? It's summer. We are experiencing heavy heat changes. Even loos are going over here. So in such a season or in such a climate, what do you think that which kind of material can be easy for us? We all know the answer. The answer is cotton. Cotton
Cotton.
is such a
Yeah.
material which can like transpire the oxygen. It can also help the heat to get removed from the body, and when we get sweat we get heated up. At that time, that heat which comes out of our body in forms of sweat or water gets easily dried up through cotton materials. But what if I say that according to western technology of denim or clothes using synthetics, what is the health effect of us? If we are wearing any synthetic wear, it creates a damage to our health. First, the sweat that gets accumulated on our shirts or in our clothing, overall clothing, that stays and remains for hours because synthetic threads do not let them dry easily, because of which we might catch cold, we might catch fever, and there are different diseases which are associated, like pneumonia, due to overbearing of such sweat material. Second thing is, if we are wearing such kind of dress materials which are having the capability to not being able to transpire the oxygen within, or the it's not able to resist the heat, for example synthetics, we can get tanned, we can get UV related diseases. Even it even consists of diseases which are extremely harmful to our skin because the UV rays are not deflected by such kind of wear. Now, one of the traditional things which is most highly appreciated is that several fashion cultures used to say that why the designs over the clothing is so important. So the answer is simple. The threads which used to have different colors, when the rays of sunlight or any particular light used to fall on them, those colorful rays used to enter our body and they used to help our different organs revitalize through those rays. So it has got a very huge impact on our health of different wearing materials, silhouettes, or also even the kind of threads which are used in our day-to-day life fashion technology. The most concerning part is that if we are pursuing any particular western fashion technology and it's consisting of cotton threads, still it wouldn't be so convenient because several western wears have short wearing forms. For example, skirts short skirts are available. For men there are short pants available. So the one which are wearing on our day to day basis, the cotton wears or the synthetic wears, we need to just keep one thing in mind, that wear something which is aesthetic to your personality and also which creates a resemblance on your health which is positive, not negative. Yes, Varun.
Yes, so that was a really important thing to be concerned about, because the health is the utmost importance that should be given to in our fashion. So, should I conclude this episode with due
Yes,
respect?
let's conclude this episode with some great words from your mouth.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, the journey of clothing and its impact on the health illuminates a narrative of evolution, awareness, and responsibility within the fashion industry. From historical garments that posed health risks to a modern day advancement prioritizing comfort and sustainability, the dialogue around the clothing and health has been evolved significantly. As we continue to navigate this dynamic landscape, it is imperative to embrace the conscious fashion practices, prioritize comfort and safety in the garment design. That is a really important thing. And also to promote the awareness of health implications of clothing choices, and also the mental implications. We should also concern the mental implications that today's youth or all other people face. We should also concern it. And also, by fostering a holistic approach that considers both individual well-being and environmental sustainability, we can pave the way of healthier, more mindful relationship with clothing and contribute to a brighter future for generations to come. Well, Priyant, what are your views or your concluding message regarding the fashion?
My concluding message for all is just a simple thing, and that is, while you're thinking of wearing any particular clothing material, or when you're thinking of wearing a particular trend or a fashion expectability, just keep these things in your mind. First, about your own self expression, confidence and self esteem, cultural and social identity, professionalism and success, creativity and innovation, economic impact, and how you wear the thing makes a cultural exchange and diversity unique amongst your community. Just keep these things in mind and remember that each culture has its own identity, whereas you can always wear and try to wear the cultural identities of other communities, which will not only help you to build a better community all around you, but it will also be good for making good friendships and increasing the family strength of the whole world. And what's the family strength all about? It's about we all are brothers, sisters, and we all are having different relationships with each other all along the
Right.
way. And in order to maintain it, there should be peace in mind. And so, peace respects to one point, and that is love, sanctity, and justice. So, my last message is that we are coming up with this platform of cultural exchange, and whether or not you work in this platform with or not, the most important thing is stay safe, stay secure, and make cultural experience a vibrant design all around the world.
Thank you, Priyant and Utkarsh. So, enveloping this episode today, stay tuned with our podcast, our Apple podcast, Spotify podcast, our LinkedIn page, and also our GitHub repository. And stay tuned for the further episodes and further updates. Shy Shy.
Arigato.
Namaste.
Yes. So have a
Thank you
nice
so
day
much.
and